in the winter darkness of Petrograd, as the wind clawed at shuttered windows and the river ice groaned under its own weight. No one knew they were standing at the edge of history's deadliest earthquake. The year was 1917, and Russian Empire stretched across 11 time zones was about to ignite. Not once, but twice. Two revolutions, born just months apart, would shatter a dynasty, topple an empire, unleash chaos, and open the gates to a new world built on ideology, steel, and blood. This is the story of the days that shook the world, when a starving nation decided it had nothing left to lose, and when the spark of rebellion caught fire so violently that even its creators could not control the inferno. By the start of that catastrophic year, Russia was a country bleeding from every direction. Millions were dead in the First World War. The front lines devoured young men like a machine with an endless appetite. Food was scarce, boots were scarce, hope was scarce. While peasants starved, the royal family lived in shimmering palaces, insulated from the misery with gold walls and silk curtains. But behind the opulence lurked fear. Tsar Nicholas II, determined, stubborn, and tragically blind to reality, believed he ruled by divine right. He believed Russia needed a father, not a leader. And he believed the people would forgive him. Was run. In the streets of Petrograd, anger simmered beneath the snow. Women waited hours for bread that never came. Workers trudged home past factories that had once been engines of industry, but were now frozen tombs. Soldiers returning from the front muttered about betrayal. A rumor whispered from door to door. The Tsar has abandoned us. The government is lying. The country is collapsing, and nobody is coming to save us. All it needed was a spark. That spark came in February, when thousands of exhausted, furious women marched through Petrograd demanding food, demanding dignity, demanding to be heard. Workers joined them, then students, then soldiers sent to stop the protests began lowering their rifles. Hesitant, confused, some refused to fire on unarmed crowds. Others turned their guns on the officers, ordering them to shoot. And just like that, the Tsar's power built over centuries began to crumble in a matter of hours. Petrograd erupted. Barricades rose in the streets. Police stations were set ablaze. Soldiers looted armories and handed out rifles to civilians. Crowds surged into government buildings, tearing down portraits of the Tsar with roaring triumph. The empire was cracking, and everyone could feel it. Under unbearable pressure, Nicholas II finally made a decision that would echo through history. He abdicated the throne. For the first time in 300 years, Russia had no Tsar. A dynasty older than the United States had vanished in a single signature. But the fall of a king was only the beginning. The real struggle was about to begin. The battle for what would replace the collapsing empire. A new government formed almost instantly. The provisional government, educated, optimistic, convinced they could rebuild Russia on democracy and modern ideals. But the moment they stepped into power, they inherited a nightmare. They faced starvation, chaos, mutiny, and a war that showed no mercy. And in their greatest mistake, they chose to keep fighting in the First World War. While Russia begged for peace, the provisional government demanded sacrifice. They promised victory, but the trenches offered nothing but death. Meanwhile, in the shadows, another force watched, waited, and prepared. A force that believed the provisional government was doomed. A force that believed the only path forward was revolution, not mild reform, but complete destruction of the old world. This force was the Soviets, the councils of workers and soldiers, led by fiery speeches, radical ideas, and the belief that history could be rewritten with determination and steel. And above them all, a man returned to Russia like a storm crossing the border. Vladimir Lenin, exiled for years, underestimated by everyone, but carrying an idea so powerful it would reshape the planet. When his train pulled into Petrograd, thousands greeted him with cheers and banners. Lenin raised his fists and shouted the words that would become a prophecy. "We will give you peace. We will give you bread. All power to the Soviets," and the crowd erupted. Lenin's message was simple, sharp, and deadly. He told soldiers to stop dying in a pointless war. He told workers to reclaim what was stolen from them. He told peasants to take the land. He promised everything the government could not deliver. And slowly, relentlessly, he pulled the country toward revolution. Summer came, and with it came violence. Mass protests rocked Petrograd. Shots echoed in the streets. Soldiers defected. Ministers panicked. The provisional government tried to crush the Bolsheviks, declaring them traitors, criminals, extremists. Lenin shaved his beard and fled in disguise. But the government had no loyalty, no stability, and no real control. They were trying to rule a collapsing empire with speeches, while the Bolsheviks gathered power with action. By autumn, Russia was a trembling giant. Factories stopped working. Farms stopped producing. Soldiers deserted in entire regiments, and in the center of the storm, Lenin returned, ready to deliver the final blow. This time, he would not run. This time, he demanded everything. Under cold November skies, the Bolsheviks seized telegraph stations, bridges, railways. Every move was precise. Every step was planned. The capital was theirs before anyone realized what was happening. Yet the provisional government stayed trapped inside the Winter Palace, refusing to surrender, refusing to admit their collapse. Outside, the Bolsheviks prepared for the final assault. Sailors from the Baltic Fleet, grim and fearless, marched through Petrograd with rifle butts tapping against the cobblestones. Red Guards loaded their weapons and waited in the shadows. The cruiser Aurora aimed its guns at the heart of the old regime. When the signal came, it echoed through the night. A single blank shell thundered from the Aurora. The city trembled. The Red Guards surged into the Winter Palace, smashing through barricades, dodging bullets, capturing room after room. Cabinet ministers were arrested where they stood, and at that moment, revolution triumphed. Russia had fallen into the hands of the Bolsheviks. Lenin emerged, not as a rebel, but as the leader of a new state, a new ideology, a new world order. But what he inherited was not a country, it was a reign. Civil war erupted almost instantly. Famine swept across the land. Foreign armies invaded. Brother fought brother. Father fought son. The revolutions of 1917 had opened a door that could never be closed again. But they had also ended something ancient, something colossal. The Tsar was gone. The empire was gone, and in its place stood something the world had never seen before. A nation built on revolution, forged in violence, and driven by the promise of a future without kings or masters. These were the days that shook the world. Days when millions rose against centuries of oppression. Days that shattered an empire and reshaped global history. Days when the streets of Petrograd became the stage for a drama so vast, so explosive, that its shockwaves still echo today. 2 revolutions, 1 year, and a moment when the world changed forever.